Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and today we're talking about Team17. This is the company that is most notable for creating the Worm series, as well as bringing other indie titles from other smaller developers to the public, such as the Ukulele series, Overcooked, Blasphemous, and many others. Well, recently they came under fire for wanting to jump in and start creating NFTs. This move, of course, created so much backlash that they had to go back and stop in a day. I feel like they announced it in the morning. By the end of the day, they're like, never mind, just kidding. Please keep buying our games. But I and many other people like me, I don't know, this really started peeling back the friendly, amazing image that we had of this company and started showing its true colors. And I'll never look at the company again the same way, and especially after this latest story. It's come out from over a dozen different staff members that have written into Eurogamer that they've suffered sexual harassment, there's been verbal abuse, there has been horrible wages, they've been forced to do crunch, and they have an apathetic CEO that, oh my god, we'll get in to what she's been doing. But before we dive into these, I'm going to say alleged, so I don't have lawyers coming at me, these alleged horrible work conditions, let's talk about the NFTs, because this is the catalyst that really set off these staff members to write in about what's going on. Because not only are NFTs terrible for the environment and an overall scam, they were also not even known about by many teams in this company. It seems like this company, Team17, all of the higher-ups were secretly working on planning and putting together this idea of NFTs for the company and what they were going to do with it in secret. And then everybody else basically found out right before we did. And of course it was a secret, because they knew that most of their staff members weren't going to be for NFTs. Many staff members have come out and said they were not for these NFTs. They did not support them either ethically or because they didn't want the company's image to get tarnished. They knew that there was going to be a backlash. They knew that people were going to look at Team17 differently. And of course, that's why it was kept secret. They didn't want this constant battle between executives and other employees over whether this should happen. So they just wanted to do it as quickly as they could and do it in secret. Because of course the executives want them to do it, because who do you think is going to be pocketing all that money? Who do you think pockets the money of every single corporation out there? The executives. Whenever anybody ever says, oh, but Fanta, I'm fine with buying microtransactions. It helps the developers. No, it doesn't. Guess who's getting the $100 million bonuses? It sure as shit isn't the developers. And the thing is that Team17 and its executives and higher-ups did not backtrack on NFTs just because the public was outraged and its internal employees were outraged. They only did it because the other companies that they work with, the other indie devs that they work with, started speaking publicly against them. In fact, one of the companies, Aggro Crab, went as so far as to just completely disown Team17 and said they're never going to work with them again. This secret push for NFTs was the last straw for so many of these people, and that's why they wrote in, and that's why we have this story today. So let's go ahead and dive into what has allegedly been going on at Team17 and just break it down. So, just like Ubisoft, just like Activision Blizzard, just like Riot, there have been sexual harassment issues. The employees will go to the HR, and the accused will basically just get away with it. They're basically told by HR, deal with it. And nothing really comes of it. And this is a CEO that's a woman. So a lot of these people have been saying, and all these other companies are like, oh, but if a woman ran this company, it would be different. This wouldn't be happening. Well, this is a woman CEO and it's still happening. But we'll get to her character in a moment. One staff member pointed out that their CEO, Debbie Bestwick, quote, posts so many things about being a woman in the games industry on Twitter, and yet harassment is going on in her company. And people are being told essentially it hasn't happened. Which again sounds exactly like Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, and Riot. HR is not doing their job, And the CEO is just blissfully unaware of what's going on because the leadership doesn't know they don't know. They only own the company. Speaking of Twitter, it's gone suspiciously private since this story's broke. It has also been alleged that Bestwick has singled out employees during staff meetings and brought them to tears. Now, I know some people in the comments are going to go, really, Fanta? You're going to bring that up? Really? Have you ever been in a staff meeting, like a big staff meeting, and they single you out? That's not a great feeling. I don't think anybody wants to go through that. The amount of shame and pressure that is put on you by this CEO in front of all of your peers, how would that make you feel? You don't do that in a professional setting. If you want to talk to somebody one-on-one, you talk to them one-on-one. You don't do it in front of everybody else in the company. And if they don't know that something they're doing is incorrect or there's some sort of issue, why would you bring it up in that sort of way? Why would you shame them in front of all of their coworkers? You don't do that. She and the executives have also constantly forced employees to crunch, which again, we've talked about is a huge problem in the games industry. Almost every company that I can think of has had to deal with crunch time. And although a lot of these higher ups are going to act like crunch time is this wonderful, amazing thing that passionate developers do, it's not healthy, and it's especially not good for those that are lower down that don't have a choice. Yes, some of the higher ups may have a choice and they want to work their ass off, and that's fine that they are the ones that are super passionate, but you can't force everyone to do that. She also constantly flaunts her wealth, which by the way is $272 million, to not only her employees, but also on social media, which looks pretty bad when some of your lowest paid workers are making about $22,000 a year. And the thing is it's not like these employees have just kept it down. Allegedly, these employees have gone to their managers time and time again and discussed the problem with the low wages and crunch time and are consistently ignored, which is again another thing we've seen at all of these other big companies. Let's take a look at Team17's response. Team17 Digital takes its responsibilities to its staff extremely seriously. We constantly review our internal policies and practices and assess how we support our employees through our engagement survey and through direct dialogue with the team, including newly established employee-led working groups. By the way, quick note on those engagement surveys that are anonymous. How many people do you really think fill those out honestly? This encompasses compensation, workplace culture, and environment, among other key areas, to continually strive to improve our employee experience. In January, as a part of this, we announced new improvements to the way we pay and reward our Teamsters, which, by the way, is incredibly ironic that they call their employees Teamsters, considering that a lot of these people probably want to join a union. We care passionately about our Teamsters, and our aim is to ensure they feel connected, valued, and have a sense of belonging and purpose, and that they continue to be proud of Team17 and the products we develop and publish. Again, this sounds like every other company that has been basically stripped down and shown exactly who they are. This is the same PR thing. I swear to God, you could slap any company name in place of Team17, and it sounds exactly the same. There are all these PR teams that put this together, and they try to make themselves sound as good as possible. I don't believe a word of this. And you know what? Honestly, even if we start to look at and do believe some of it, it took you till January of 2022 to really look at improving things and announce new pay things and rewards. Like, are you serious? It took you that long? Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I don't believe you. Again, this is all allegedly. This is all just things that have been reported. But it sounds like everything else that every other company is going through. It's just sad that we're continually shown just how awful the work conditions are when it comes to creating the things that we enjoy. And it also shows that it doesn't really matter the gender of the CEO, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. It does not matter. So I guess adding another company to the list of companies I don't want to support, and it just sucks. It sucks for the people that work there. It sucks for us, the customers that don't want to support these companies but want to play the games that they publish. I mean, it's sad that this is such a common thing now, and I'm sure this is only going to be the beginning of these stories to come out, and I'm sure we're going to hear them about basically every big game company out there. Unless they are frantically cleaning up their companies right now to not become another one of these stories, we're going to hear more throughout the year. It's only February. We're going to hear more. Let me know what you guys think about this story down in the comments. If you believe the employees, which I tend to, because, again, this is not something crazy. This isn't hard to believe. We've seen this before many, many times. Let me know what you guys think of Team17 now, whether or not you'll continue to support them. Like the video if you guys liked it. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.